Hey guys!
So welcome back to our channel. We thought we would do something a bit different because we get loads of emails and messages on Instagram and stuff asking for advice, and a lot of the questions we get are like the same sort of thing. So we thought it would be quite good for us to start like a new series on our YouTube channel, which is called Ask the Patels.
Yeah.
So we're just going to hopefully address, I guess, some of the situations that you guys might be facing, and hopefully it can just help people.
Yeah.
Loads of you guys that are in your interracial. To be honest, it might even be relevant to just any relationship advice. We are not relationship gurus. No. I will just put out there. We're not.
No.
But yeah, hopefully we can help in some way, shape or form.
I was going to say we'll try and keep it like as anonymous as possible, so we won't mention people's names, where they're from, anything like that. But yeah, we'll give enough context to kind of for you guys watching to understand, or like to set the scene, and then we can kind of overlay that with what we would do.
Yeah, and if you want us to address anything, please do feel free to email us, because we've got our emails in the description box below.
So feel free to
reach out on Instagram, do whatever you want to do, and we can hopefully address it on this forum for everyone, and we'll probably still address it to you personally as well. But yeah. So here we go. Today is episode 1 of Ask the Patels. What are we talking about?
So today, episode 1 is how do I come out to my very traditional parents about my interracial relationship. So I'm just going to set the scene and read a bit of a backstory. Here we go. I'm a British Bengali woman, 23, and met an amazing white Indian man, 26. His family know me and love me. They are my second family, but sadly I've not yet come out to my parents about my interracial relationship. He plans for us to get engaged later this year. My elder sister knows about us but isn't very happy, telling me numerous times to break up with him, but she does not understand it's not possible. You see, the issue here is not only is he not Bengali, but he isn't Muslim. Oh boy, a double drama. We are a great couple, and I fell in love with him because he is God conscious just like myself. He has said he is even willing to convert to Islam, as he doesn't really follow a particular religion, just believes in God. He is very understanding to my religious, cultural implications.
My problem is being certain my parents will not accept our relationship because of family honour and what people are going to think. They are traditional Bengali parents, and that would only accept me being, and that they would only accept me being with a Bengali. Is Bengali right? Am I saying? Bengali, sorry. It's because of the way it's spelled. Bengali. It makes me very sad, and I've had numerous anxiety, panic attacks from it. Cried many nights and still do. I love my family dearly. They love me a lot too. But as a woman that comes from a particular culture, I'm too worried that they might think I'm a bad daughter simply for falling in love and perhaps, well, disown me. They tell me how proud of me they are, and I feel this will devastate them. They will say no, when in reality, if they met him, even just once, they would love him, and that upsets me even more. Even though we barely ever argue, it has made me double think everything and constantly fear if I marry him, and God forbid things don't work out, that they'll be like, I told you so. It hasn't been good for my mental health, but I'm certain I want to marry him. We're very much equally in love. So what advice can you give to me?
Wow.
I feel like this sounds kind of like our story.
Yeah.
In terms of like, you have very traditional parents.
Yeah. You have very traditional parents.
But mine aren't that as traditional, I think, as yours.
Fair.
I think some of your family members are obviously more vocal about our relationship, which is what she's saying here, like her elder sister was pretty much like no way.
So I think to kind of set the scene, like you can see, you can quickly understand why there's like big tension. I think there are a few key things that were kind of called out in that passage that we read, as to like, always double thinking when you're with someone. Like these things have quite like can have like quite a significant impact on a relationship, like especially if, for me anyway, I always tell people that I speak to that you have to be 110% with each other, like never doubt each other, because a lot of the time what people will do is they'll try to almost like test the waters and see that if they can cast a bit of doubt between yourselves, they've already like won the battle.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you two are opposing each other, you're
not going to stand a chance, basically.
Their work is done, basically.
And I think, sorry, just on that point of doubt, that if you do have any kind of doubt in your partner, you need to address it. You both can sit down and like, are we on the same page here? Like, are we both willing to go the extra mile? So, I think before you tell your parents, you have to make sure that you both are in agreement about what the risks are.
Yeah.
What are the challenges you might face? Are we both ready to face those challenges?
Yeah.
Because otherwise there's no point telling them, because when you are faced with challenges, you would just literally crumble.
Yeah, and it's vital that you're real with what the challenges could be. There's no point trying to play it down and being like, oh yeah, my parents might not like it, but it's alright, don't worry, it'll be fine. No, that's not true. If you know your parents are traditional and they're going to react very adversely, it's important that you let your partner know
that this is what might happen. And we should kind of have a plan for it.
Yeah, literally.
Because we were literally like prepared for the worst. And we were like, you might be disowned.
Yeah.
What are we going to do?
It's that real. You have to.
Yeah, we were.
I think it's crazy that we sit here and think that, oh my God, like we went through that process and we had to like talk through those things as to what we would do, how that would happen. But had we not done that, we would have just... It's just naivety.
I think it can go one of two ways with that, because you could either feel like, oh, and some people be like, you're thinking negatively, but it's not necessarily about you being negative. It's like
you're being realistic.
You're just being realistic, but it's not a thing where it's like you're making yourself feel down or whatever. But I think it's just one of them things where when you come out the other side, either you would have been prepared and you know that, okay, this is what we thought might happen and it happened. Let's roll with it. We can get through it. Or you might be surprised and it will go completely the other way, and you know that I was prepared for the worst, but the best happened.
Yeah.
So with us, it was kind of like we prepared for the worst, but we were so grateful to God afterwards when it was literally not as bad as we thought it was going to be. I mean, it was bad in the beginning, but
it got a lot
there.
Better.
As in, we're here now, isn't it?
Exactly. So. And another thing, I was just reading the passage again that I wanted to touch on was like...
I call it a passage.
Okay, but I mean, I don't know what to call it. But when there's an element of like guilt tripping, and this person touched on it where, she said that, oh, my parents would tell me they're so proud of me, and if I tell them that I'm dating someone of a different race or religion, it's gonna, in their eyes, I'm gonna be like a worthless child. I'm gonna be useless. I've broken all the rules. All of the good things I've done will be overlooked. And for me anyway, again, it was like a personal thing that you kind of need to get out of that headspace. The reason being is, again, it can very quickly lead you astray, and all of a sudden you're making decisions in order to ensure that they're happy, but actually that shouldn't be your primary aim, because all of a sudden if you're entering a marriage just on the basis that you're trying to please someone else, when hardships come, it's going to be very difficult for you and the other person to sit there and talk it through and to kind of fight in the same direction. So yeah, like that kind of emotional attachment of, oh, if I tell my parents this, they're not going to think I'm a good child. Yeah, that headspace you kind of need to... And it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one, I think.
I think, like, based on what you're saying, it's kind of like, not that you have to do things for yourself. I'm not saying, like, you have to be selfish, but I think you do really have to think about you.
Yeah.
And I mean, that goes both ways, because people can sit there and say, oh, I want to do what my parents say. I want to make sure that, they're happy, which I'm saying you can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I'm all for honouring your parents, and I think even if you are going against them, there's a way to go about it so you don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
But then I also think it's easy for people as well to say, oh, I'm just going to go through with this marriage, in this interracial relationship, because we've been together this long and I don't want to disappoint them. But you shouldn't do that either, because I feel like you can go down the line one day and be like, oh, I did all this for you, and when things aren't going that great, it's very easy to resent the other person, because you know that you did everything for them and not because that was what you wanted to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think it's like finding the balance, finding the middle ground, and knowing where you stand and what you want for your life. And
I think that probably leads on to where that person mentioned about the guy being willing to convert religion, or understands cultural implications, all of that. Yes, that I think that's where Michelle is kind of touching on, because, you know, 6 months, 6 years down the line, that person can then turn around and be like, I only converted to Islam to marry you.
Yeah, like, it's like, that's one thing I'm very much against. Yeah. Like, I'm not for you have to convert for me. No way.
Yeah, I think
like, it has to be your decision.
Yeah.
To do what I'm not going to force you to do anything, and I don't want you to think that you have to do that to please me.
Yeah, because you're kind of walking into unfamiliar territory if you put someone in that position.
And I think for me, I always knew that, to be fair, I wasn't going to marry someone that wasn't Christian. That was just it for me. But I think it's knowing your personal, because I can't tell you, oh, don't marry a Muslim man. I mean, it's up to you. What can you handle? What can you deal with? What can you tolerate? So when it comes to those things, whenever people ask us for advice in terms of that, it's literally down to you, because I think religion as well is one of the big things that can easily divide people.
Yeah.
So you need to know, what am I going to be able to handle?
Yeah. And I think, again, like, not trying to be too pessimistic, but it's another thing that someone can play. You can play that card, I won't say very easily, but someone can play that card in order to win someone's kind of trust or approval, in terms of saying, oh yeah, you know what, like, yeah, we can make this marriage work, like, I'll even convert, like, religion for you. It's just one of those things that someone could say in passing, and it not carry a lot of weight, until they're kind of called into action to do it or to exercise it, and then all of a sudden they're a bit twitchy, or, you know, they don't really want to do it, or they're not doing it wholeheartedly. So that's why, again, it's about you two understanding the position that you're in. I think the kind of topic we were trying to touch on is, like, how best to come out, how best...
Basically veered off.
So
broad, guys, so broad.
How best to...
tell your parents.
Tell your parents. So, for me, again, like, I'll probably try and be as quick as possible here. I think there are a few things, again, make sure you two are both on the same page. You understand the implications. You understand what could work, what may go wrong and will need addressing. Secondly, I think it is important that you... how do I say this? You need to be ready to sacrifice everything if you know that your parents are gonna... If you know your parents are going to take it badly, or you think they're going to take it badly, you need to be in a position where you're willing to lay it all down before them and say, this is it, like, this is my decision, this is how I want to progress. For me, anyway, that's what worked. I built myself up internally to get to that position, before I was able to kind of, you know, put it before them.
Can I ask you a question on that basis?
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have done differently in the way that you told your parents?
Probably not differently in the way that I told them. Maybe in hindsight, I think, you know, this will probably contradict what I just said, but in hindsight, you would like to have told them earlier, but actually there's a reason why I waited, right?
Yeah, I guess it depends, as in, you can tell, I don't know, you could have told them earlier. I think you could have definitely done that, because I think we were ready to tell them before.
Yeah.
But I think you did put it off longer than you needed to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think the sooner the better, but it's based on when you guys have had it, you've got it figured out.
Yeah. And that's what I was getting on at, because you don't want to tell them too soon, but you guys aren't serious, so all of a sudden you bring this to them.
But we were serious for a long time, is what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying internally I had to build myself up to get there.
I get you.
But what I'm saying is, don't let it be that you go and tell them, they, you know, and it affects them mentally, like, a lot, because they've been brought up a certain way, to know a certain culture, to know certain things happen in certain ways.
I think
it's
you have
a
to be
massive
understanding
shock
when you are speaking to them as well. I don't just think that it's my way or the highway. No, because they've also grown up in, I guess, differently to maybe how you've been raised.
Yeah.
You know, they've raised you, which is a bit strange. But, you know, the environment.
Back to my point.
No, I was just saying.
No,
you have to be understanding. I do think you do, because otherwise you will be at war if you do not understand each other's point of view.
Yeah, no, that's
and
right.
agree to disagree in
The
some
the
places.
back end of my point was that you don't want it that in 6 months' time you then go and tell them, oh yeah, we've broken up. You know, we're
Yes,
no
this is
longer.
what she said at the end, that she's scared that, oh, if they do stay together and then later down the line they break up, and then it's like, oh well,
We
told you so.
Yeah. So that's why I say you guys have to be 110% between yourselves. Know that it's definitely the thing you want to do. You're willing to fight any battle, climb any mountain, before you go ahead, because there's a lot of implications outside of just you two, which you have to consider. But yeah, like for me, I picked a day, sat them down.
Guys, just some advice: don't start it by saying I have a problem that I need to tell you about, because that doesn't help the situation.
You can pick your
which
words.
which is what Amit did. He said I have a problem that I have to tell you about.
You can pick your words, you know, however you
Am I a
choose to.
problem?
No. Here we go.
Sorry.
But yeah, no.
It's
Honestly,
late.
I think in the heat of the moment, it's difficult. Like when you want to do it, you're running through in your head every single word that you think you're gonna say, where you're gonna see it, how you're gonna say it, how you're gonna make sure you don't say anything like rude or aggressive, or you know, to try and keep your cool.
I think it's also good because I think she says here, she feels like if they did meet him, they would love him. So I feel like when you are speaking to them, maybe explaining why is it that you've chosen this person, because you often find that it's probably because they share the same values that you have. So I feel like even though we are from different cultures, there's a lot of values that we both had in common. So when it did come to our families and stuff, it's like they kind of understood actually it does work. So maybe just expressing the positives about that person, and then them understand why you've gone for that person, so they know that, oh, you're serious, you've actually thought about this. It's not just because you want mixed kids, you know, which is what people think these days.
It's true. Anything for some Instagram followers.
Yeah, or marry a Patel because he's rich.
But yeah, I think we've kind of covered it.
So yeah, I think that was a good start actually, guys.
Yeah.
What do you think? So I guess comment below if there was any advice that you would like to chip in to this person or to anyone else that might come across this.
Or any questions on the back of like what we've said.
Yeah, that would be good. We would love to answer them. And on our website we are going to have a section where if you just want to fill in your story there for us to address, you can do that, or as I said before, you can use the email. But thank you for tuning in today, guys. We really appreciate it. So don't forget to ask the Patels. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next video.
See ya.